One thing I found out recently is I really like tea. I've been having my afternoon cuppa since I got out of the hospital, which basically was where I picked up the tea habit in the first place. But if you're going to look for tea, the best place to do it is right here in the UK Pavilion at the Twinings Tea Shop. Or is it Twinnings? I don't know. Recently, I decided to take my afternoon cuppa at the Rosencrantz, located in Epcot's United Kingdom Pavilion. And whatever you do, try not to get it confused with the over 100 different Rosencrantz located all across the UK. Some older than others. I'm thinking this one probably isn't as old as the others are. And since Epcot's Rosencrantz opened in 1982, I think it's a little older than this one. They do have a couple of seating options. They've uncovered a patio area, a covered patio area, and of course, their pub. The pub can get very crowded, as pubs do, and sometimes it can be difficult to find a seat. I mean, literally. And as awesome as the interior of the pub is, it's not really wheelchair friendly. They have put some extra tables out in front, but there is no wait staff there. They also have an outside seating area for the Yorkshire County Fish and Chip stand. And as a little side note, the vegan option for fish and chips is not yet available here. We chose the outdoor patio dining area. It's a quaint little area that's located on the waterfront of the World Showcase Lagoon. We'd eaten here once before, but this time was going to be different. In addition to the world's cutest granddaughter, we were accompanied by her parents, my son and daughter-in-law, who are vegans. We checked in way early and they told us the seat was going to be ready at the reservation time. And then they called us almost immediately. We were seated by our hostess, and our waiter was Matt, who took our drink orders, and yes, I got my tea. It was iced tea, but it was still Twinings, or Twinnings, I still don't know. Matt's from Birmingham, and I will admit that since I've been watching so many BBC shows, it's much easier for me to detect regional dialects. And it said so on his name tag. Anyway, I decided to go with the English classic Bangers and Mash, and my daughter-in-law Megan also went with Bangers and Mash, but with a vegan option. My son Andrew went with the vegan fish and chips, and my wife chose the Welsh pub burger. The last time we were here, Gene had gone with Rosencrantz fish and chips, and I went with the no longer available New York strip steak. That steak has been placed fourth in my steak versus steak competition, so I thought it was pretty good. And Gene had found the fish and chips, well, greasy, or as I like to call it, perfect. There really were no vegan options for the cutest 16-month-old in the world, but she really wasn't impressed with her one-of-a-kind chef-created meal. She did, however, find an alternative. We didn't get appetizers this time, but last time, as part of our Festival of the Arts concert package, we did. For those of you unfamiliar with this package, it's a pretty good deal. For a fixed price at participating World Showcase restaurants, you get an appetizer, main course, and dessert, along with soft drinks. You also get preferred seating for the evening's Disney on Broadway concert. We chose the Rosencrantz and later sat in the back of the front row. Well, for favorite Kissy Simmons and Alton Fitzgerald. So usually wheelchairs are set up in the farthest row in the back of the American Garden Theater, but with preferred seating, you sit in the back row of the front section. Anyway, I told you all that so I could tell you about Rosencrantz Appetizers. Like all good Disney appetizers, some are pretty much a meal unto themselves. Gene went with the United Kingdom cheese platter that features a selection of traditional British cheeses, like Stilton's, McCall's Irish Cheddar, and Cotswold cheese. I, of course, got the no longer available house-made English pie. There is also a coronation salad and a Scotch egg on the appetizer menu. But, as I said, we skipped the appetizers and went right into the main courses. So, let's start with Jean's. Jean's been cutting back on cheese, which has to be killing her, so she skipped on the beer cheese sauce, and she ordered the Angus beef burger medium, and that's the way it arrived as ordered. She thought it was pretty good. She also swapped out her bacon and beer battered leeks for an order of chips, which were crisp, but not crisps. She told me they were better than most fries at Disney. Andrew seemed to enjoy his fish and chips and said they were pretty good. As I said, Gene had gotten them on our last visit, and personally I'd only gotten them at the takeaway window, but I thought they were pretty good. Now, we get to the interesting part. Bangers and mash versus vegan bangers and mash. Disney uses the Beyond brand of plant-based meat substitutes. Now, having tasted both, and I am definitely a carnivore, I have to say, I preferred the taste of the vegan sausage. There was a little more spice to it, I guess. It's obvious from this side-by-side comparison. I know it surprised the heck out of me, too. Oh, and by the way, the term bangers for sausage, that goes back to World War II. The lack of available meat led to a high water content in the links, and they were likely to explode as water turned to steam during the cooking. And that's just a side note from As Bob Sees It. Although British food usually takes a hit, you can't argue with British desserts. We all enjoyed the desserts. We had 3 of Rosencrantz specialties. Jean went with the English trifle, which contained layers of strawberries, vanilla custard, graham crackers, and whipped cream. I decided I'd try the rice pudding. It's a coconut and orange flavored rice pudding with berries. Megan went with one of my favorites, the sticky toffee pudding. I got this on the last visit, the one I keep talking about. It's a steamed pudding cake served with warm vanilla custard and a hot butter rum. It's a little more expensive than the others at $9, but believe me, it's worth it. So before we head back over to the tea shop, let's rate the Rose and Crown on the following categories: atmosphere, food, accessibility, and value. And since I'm feeling somewhat British, let's do it while we listen to Epcot's own British Revolution. First, the atmosphere. The Rose and Crown pub is great. I'm not sure if they've imported the bar from England, but it sure looks like it. And that's me feeling, along with the server's fantastic accents, the Rose and Crown at 4 Union Jacks. The food? Well, that was scrummy too. We found it to be pretty good nosh-up. Jean's rating of the chips alone would be enough to bring me back, because I've become a real sucker for fish and chips. And let's not forget, you can get pretty good cup of Twinings tea, or is it Twinings? I'll figure it out. And if I ever decide to get bangers and mash here, I'll probably go vegan. I've never been a big bangers and mash bloke, but it was better at Rose and Crown than the time I had them in Soto. That place is closed now, so maybe it wasn't just me. And of course, the desserts, well, they were brilliant. Accessibility is where we always run into problems. I'm not saying it's rubbish, but it can be a bit of a palaver. If it's just you and your best mate, and you have to stay in your chair, ask for a table for 4. Tables for 2 are pedestal tables, and a pedestal will keep you from bellying up to the table. It will keep you from getting narked. And finally, value. You get what you want at Rose and Crown. The best British pub food, a great environment, and pretty good accessibility. Except if you want to be, in that pub and have that pub feel. But really, how many pubs in the UK are handicap accessible? And remember, Epcot's Rose and Crown opened 8 years before the ADA, and Britain didn't get their version until 1992. Aw, come on, even Emmy knows it's Twinings tea. But she's been wrong before. Let us know in the comments below. So, since we're spending time over here in Disney's Tea Garden, where they grow a lot of teas, but apparently none that they actually package, if you like this video, why don't you go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. That way I'll know you're enjoying what I'm doing, and I'll try and stay on track. If you'd like to see more of this kind of video, why don't you go ahead and subscribe. It's free. All you gotta do is push the subscribe button below. But remember, when you do subscribe, don't forget to press on that bell icon. That way you'll be notified the next time I upload a video. It can get pretty expensive making these videos, so if you'd like to be on our team, just go ahead on over to Patreon/AsBobSeesIt. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.